I hope the people here in Atlanta continue to find a way to give Brian Gregory credit for what he did while I was here. And Josh obviously has done an outstanding job, but boy, I hope nobody bought that they wouldn't win a game. That's a very good team. And Brian deserves a ton of credit for what he did in building that foundation and bringing those players here. And I'm glad that he's a head coach again, and I say that I'm unbiased. He's a friend, but he's also a great coach, and he did a great job here. And it was very disappointing how he was let go from a professional point and a coaching point. But at the same time, Josh has done a tremendous job. No question about that. And his staff, they've done a great job making those guys better. And what we've got to do is get better. And this game tonight, times was a microcosm of our season. There was times we were really good, just like there were times we were really good during the season. When we were healthy, win 2 number ones. We had a lot of guys that were coming off a Big Ten championship. And obviously we had the injuries that we've had. We had the inconsistencies that we've had. When we were good, we were really good. When we weren't, we weren't. And inconsistency was a huge part, and that's exactly what happened in this game. We didn't get off to a great start. And then we got back in it, and absolutely no reason to be as late as we were a couple times defensively, with coming off the ball and allowing them shots. But we got back in it, like we do. And but again, the turnovers hurt us. The lack of, it wasn't like it was going to change 30 games in where there were 1 or 2 guys that were just going to take the mantle of the team. But again, we made too many mistakes, and we had to switch defenses. But the thing to me, we just can't. We've got to get better with the ball. We've got to get better with the decision making. We've got to get stronger with the ball. We've got to get better with our finishing. And those are things that we've got to improve. But I'm proud of the resiliency of this team this year. Obviously, the record wasn't what we wanted. We had great wins. We had tough losses. And we were in a ton of games that didn't go our way at the very end. And we've got to learn and grow from that. And everybody's got to be able to accept what they have to get better at. And this program just needs, the program's in great shape. The team has got to get better. The team, the current players, there's so much good structure with what we have, but our team wasn't where it needed to be. And I don't think you win 2 championships in 4 years and not have a really strong program. But again, obviously, facts are facts. Our team wasn't as good, and we've got to improve that. The guys that are going to be back have got to get better. The new guys that we have and the new guys that we'll get have got to get better. I've got to get better. Everybody's got to get better, and that's our plan. So, go ahead.
They went zone early. What about that zone getting back in trouble early?
Not as much. Everything that we practiced, the key was to get it through them. We weren't nearly physical enough with how we wanted to post up the top of the zone. So it wasn't that as much. We didn't play through the middle enough, and then what happened is we really wanted to flood underneath, and a couple times we did. We stand too much, right? We stand. I mean, it's mind-boggling to me because we don't practice that way. But we wanted to get under the zone. We wanted to play. There's some similarities, in the recents that we've had with Iowa, because when you get to this point in the season, you got to try to give them some similarities. Okay, where they run this cut like so and so, they play this zone like Iowa, things like that. But it was a little different because we wanted to get behind the zone more, and not only cut behind the zone, but drive it. And we didn't do as well. And we're not a screen the zone team in the middle of the floor. We're a post and seal the zone team, and we didn't do a very good job of that. And again, we missed some shots, rushed some shots, but we also had a couple times where instead of just passing it, we took a dribble then passed it, and we meant to pass it, but you got to move it quick against the zone. But eventually we got what we wanted. But I'm disappointed. I don't even know what the offensive rebound numbers are. It's not enough. We weren't, you're not going to look at that lineup. Okay, if we started the season next year and we get better, you're not going to look at that lineup next year. We didn't have enough rebounding out of that. We can't have nights where we get 18 guard rebounds, 24 guard rebounds, then come back and not be as good. We got to get tougher on the boards. There was a time we were one of the nation's leaders, right, on the glass this year. Am I correct on that?
Yes.
Yeah, but we got to learn to sustain that. And I can't I can't, we've got to be better offensive rebound on the ball. So, and again, in a zone, because we didn't think they blocked out very well at all from what we saw in film, but we didn't take advantage of that with enough offensive rebounding.
How much did you feel like it was your inability to hit shots compared to, or was it a really good defensive effort?
All year long, Terry. I mean, that's the, I don't know where it'll end up at this year, but as you know, I mean, we've led the country, when you look at the BCS schools, we've led the country in three-point shooting over those years. This team was not. I mean, the turnovers and the fouls, I give the fouls a lot of attention. Everybody else gives the turnovers a lot of attention, which is right. Shooting was a real issue. We never shot the ball consistently enough. And our shooters didn't make enough shots. And we did not, we did not shoot the ball. When we did, we're setting records in the Schottenstein Center, putting 95 on Iowa when we shot it right, but not as much. And lately, we have not finished as well around the basket, so that's part of it too. But we got to get a better downhill team. We got to get a team that can create more off penetration. And we've got to be better shooting the ball. And that's going to be, I wouldn't see another recruit being signed here for the future unless they're really special at certain things, coming in here they can't really shoot the ball because we play a heck of a lot better when they're going in. The biggest problem with that is the disappointment that hits when we're not making those shots. You got to come back, you still got to guard at a high level. So that's a big part of it.
It seemed like Lammers gave you guys a lot of trouble on the offensive end with his defense and the post and altering shots, and it seemed like it was causing...
Well, you know what, and we've seen other guys like that. We didn't move him. He's not lateral. He's good though. He's good and very good. Brian Greger was always extremely high on him. I mean, but you got to move him, right? When a guy doesn't have the lateral, we didn't face him and attack him and drive him. A couple times we did, but then we didn't get around him, and he's longer than he looks. But a guy like that, I mean, I don't know why they play as much zone, probably so he doesn't have to guard on the perimeter. It's a good move for them. But you got to move him. You got to take an extra step. You got to come around quicker. And we didn't do that. Not as consistently as we should have. He's a good player.
What makes you confident you can overcome some of these issues as you go along these next 6 months or leading into next year?
Done it before, right? Done it before. I called you about it one time. Remember when we were in Canada? We overcame it, didn't we? Right. I mean, so that stuff to me, no matter what's on a contract or anything, that I'm going to coach the same way. Whether I got 1 year or whether I got 10 years, right? It makes no difference. You're going to coach, you're going to try to make it better, you're going to be about the team, you're going to be about the program, you're going to be about the department and everybody working together to make it as strong as it can be. And done it numerous times, whether it be at Marquette, whether it be at Indiana. And I get a kick. Now, if somebody was going to say, I don't know if we're going to win a game, I probably could have easily said that my first year, right? And 4 years later, we were winning 20-some-odd games, and we were in the Sweet 16 at Marquette. I was telling the team before the game, at Marquette, my first year, we're practicing at the Bradley Center, and it's a long run here. You go up this ramp, and to get into the building. Well, I had a player on my team who was a starter for me at that point, said that the year before I came, they used to get tired running from the locker room to warm-ups, right? And I go, oh my God, right? Like, where's the phone? Let me call Tom Izzo, I need to go back, right? Like, but 4 years later, we're in the Final Four, right? That's what happens. You just build, and we got a lot of good things, and we got a strong foundation, and we got to get better. But I mean, it starts with me, the examination of what has to get better, and let's roll, and that's how I feel.
All right, Coach.
All right, thank you.